The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Hello, Modern Jeepers. Matson from Medical here, and welcome to episode 168 of the ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers. Last week was a crazy one for all of us, but Corey and Jessy are back at ModernJeeper Compound after another amazing ModernJeeper Adventure in Moab. But there's no rest for the wicked, as they only get a day of relaxation before hitting the road again for the next leg of CTI Tour 2022. Now I'm back at MC World headquarters, keeping the seats warm and recovering from another great Memorial Weekend sale. So we talk dark music, Top Gun, Moab Mud, Side by Side, and that lack of manners, BLM Drones, virtual signaling on Memorial Day, and what's next in the world of the Modern Jeeper. By the way, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. As always, we're extremely grateful to our supporters and friends, including Warren Winches, Raceline Wheels, Best Top, Milestar Tires, Rugged Radios, Adventure Rack Systems, and of course, Metal Cloak. So sit back, relax for the cold one, and enjoy episode number 168 of the ModernJeeper Show.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, it's another episode of the ModernJeeper Show with me, Matson from Metal Cloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, and Rockstar Jeep Girl, Jessy.
Hey.
You guys must be rested, relaxed, and raring to go, huh?
Totally.
You know, we've been home for almost 24 hours.
That's plenty of time. Yeah, and you slept the entire time, right?
Of course. And now we're leaving in the morning. So, yeah.
And where are you heading?
We're headed to Oklahoma City, couple of jobber stops, a CTI event this weekend. And then after that, we'll head back up to Kansas and meet up with our friends at 4x4 Land and their Jeeperama event.
Ooh, Jeeperama. Jeeperama sounds like a song. Like what is it? Was it one of the 80s songs? The Jeeperamas. Yeah, a bunch of girls. Jeeperama. You know, if country guys can do Jeep, so bubblegum pop can do Jeep too. So
That's
bubblegum
right.
pop. Is bubblegum pop even a thing anymore? Is that like so 80s? Like, is it
Bubblegum pop? I don't know.
No, I think now today, all the
bubblegum.
pop music today is like the Billie Eilish. It's all sad and depressing. At least back in the 80s.
So we're working around the house today. We're getting laundry done, trying to clean a little bit, and I had it on iTunes, their alternative kind of playlist. Oh my God, it was sad and depressing.
He was in the mood.
All new music, but it was just so wow. I want to just go play in traffic.
You know, I got two things to that. One was the latest Batman movie. I think I'd mentioned this before. The latest Batman movie is the most depressing, sad, dark, horrific piece of junk I've ever seen. I mean, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool, like the whole, like sure. The Dark Knight was like going back to origins that was kind of more realistic, right? This one's like going back to even more realistic. What some effed up dude getting like who has a lot of money might do, right? That's kind of what it seemed like. But it was such, the reason that Marvel does so well is it's all about superheroes uplifting and being happy and powerful and doing great. Positive. It's you go, wow, wouldn't it be cool to live in a world like that, even with all the shit going on? Yeah, half the world disappeared when Spanos snapped his fingers, but the other half were pretty happy. Like right. And it all came back and it worked out. Well, not in this world. It's like this Batman is so it was raunchy and depressing. The guy himself, I mean, he was just, that's all I felt like afterward, I felt like I needed to go take a shower. I was just dirty. Sad.
So have you seen Top Gun yet?
No, we're scheduled to see it on Thursday at 11:15. I think that's when all the kids will either be in school or able to be like it's gonna be a date with my wife and I. We're gonna go see the movie, and everything I've heard about it is like the exact opposite of what I just described. Is uplifting, positive, strong.
And that's same thing. We've heard nothing but good. We can't wait to see it. And of course, they did. I think that, and for the way the media promotes it is that Tom Cruise is the one who held it and said, no, this needs to be seen in a large theater with great sound and that kind of things. And
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm
Well, everything I've heard about so far about what Cruise did for the crew, what Cruise did for the actors to make sure every one of them were winning, that he worked with everybody, he designed the training program, he pushed it forward. I mean, it's a testament to what he is able to do and the fact that he's never been selfish about what he does, right?
right.
And that he's just and now the articles over the weekend, one of them was that even though what was it? Doctor Strange, huge blowout $240 million weekend. Tom Cruise managed to make a movie that is not about superheroes, that is getting rave reviews and high dollar amounts. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think the nostalgia of Top Gun in and of itself, I mean, oh my God, it's been around forever.
What's funny is
part of life.
the original, exactly, the original affected and touched so many people from so many different ages that the sequel, and I'm already hearing now they're already like, oh yeah, we're gonna make another one. So it's funny. There's not very many sequels that do as well as the original, and this one touched so many people, and so it's cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, we are too. It's going to be awesome. And just the fact, and I know some people that know Tom personally. And so I do not know Tom personally. I don't have like that close of a connection. I can't make a phone call, say, hey, let's go. But I know people who do know him personally. And
he still lives in Telluride.
Well, he still has a house in Telluride.
Oh, really? Yeah. Go visit.
Go hunt him down.
Yeah, you hunt him down, just hang out up front with a Jeep.
Yeah.
just put Cruise on the side. But it's just, he is that way. Like, he is just genuinely about helping people and genuinely, and he didn't want to do this movie until they had the right story. And when they heard it, went like, wow, that actually works. Like, it's Maverick. What I understand is Maverick continuing to be Maverick. It's not like he didn't change or alloy his integrity at all. He didn't try to become something different just to succeed. He's still in himself, and that's cool.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Then the whole thing about Val Kilmer, right? Like,
right.
Have you heard about the artificial intelligence being used to the AI in order to be used in order for him to voice?
Oh no.
So he can't speak, right? He's like, he lost his with a throat cancer or whatever it was, or he lost his ability to speak. So in order for him to be in the movie, I believe it's an English company, came together with some software where they sampled tens and thousands of clips of him speaking. The artificial intelligence software took that all together and created a voice for him, and then simply read the script out according to what it was. So he's acting in the role, but it's no voice coming out of him. It is the artificial intelligence creating the voice.
Wow.
And it was so effective for him, and he was so impressed by it. He is now using that himself in order to communicate. Like, that's
awesome.
He's using that software himself. All of that created because Cruise insisted that Kilmer be a part of the new movie.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited. It's gonna be awesome. But what a positive thing. I read something, I saw a meme, you may have seen this meme pop around, where you're talking about all the crap going on, all the depressing music and stuff. And the meme was, things are so bad that the US government just admitted that there are UFOs and nobody cares.
Right. And nobody cares.
And everybody's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Not important. Although, didn't we see the meme like back in 2020 that about November 2020, the aliens were going to come, and that was just the next stage of what was going to happen? So yeah, it's just craziness. But you're right. The music is just like, it's just down. It's just like,
it's just different. Yeah, for sure. And hopefully that doesn't play into everybody's. I mean, we just spent 3 days in wonderful Moab, Utah. But I feel like we haven't even, we've had so many active events and such a busy schedule the last few weeks. I don't know. I feel like Jeep Beach ran into Jeep Jam, ran into Overland Expo West, which ran into Moab. What a great group though, and what a good time. We did have some interesting weather. Yeah. But
yeah, that's like, I've never, like, you sent a picture, the little video showing like just tires like with 3 inches of mud on them. How bad was that out there?
The
Uh,
so the final day, which was Sunday, we actually split the group. There was a couple of people that had already been up to top of the world, and so I decided to split off. Jesse took part of the group up top of the world, and the rest of us went out in Dome Plateau. And we knew there was a chance of rain,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
wow! I mean, the
No, we
skies.
got all the seasons.
We had all the seasons in about 4 hours, literally
Yeah.
from rain to sleet to hail to snow.
Wow.
And it opened up. I mean, it really just the luckily we weren't in any areas where I mean, being on top of the world and being on some of the overlooks on Dome Plateau, there was a lot of lightning in the air, and you
Mhm.
could feel the electricity and
Mhm.
whatnot. But
I got zapped on my head through my cap. I had a ball cap on. You know, they have the little metal
Yeah.
on the little button. I told when everybody was getting out, we were careful and watching, but you could hear the thunder, lightning. You can feel the charge. I was like, don't touch your Jeep. Just let's hurry up, get our pictures, and get out. But I was leading everybody up to the top.
Mm.
And then on the last Jeep, oh my God. So the lightning, it was charged. You could hear it through everybody's antenna. And then the little button on the top of my hat buzzed me on the top of my scalp. And I was
Oh,
like, oh,
wow.
yeah, I was
Oh, no.
I was getting
Oh.
plummeted, pummeled by hail, sleet, snow, all of it.
all of it.
That
I was
wasn't lightning.
drenched.
That wasn't lightning. That was the aliens.
Something.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
You're
We
supposed
got
to wear
some pretty cool pictures though.
your tinfoil cap. See,
Yeah.
tinfoil lined underneath, right?
Yeah, so everybody will have to in the next this next week or so we should have probably a two-part story up on modernjeeper.com with a ton of images from what the adventure was like. The the bentonite clay outside of Moab, pretty much east of Moab, when that stuff gets wet, and Matson, that's what you saw, was it. It doesn't take a lot of moisture, but I got to tell you, that stuff is like it's like driving on grease, and then when it dries up and hardens, it's like concrete.
Wow.
That stuff is nasty. So yeah, I think I
Oh,
was at
no.
the car wash. I spent like an hour at the car wash, and I got about 75% of it off.
Wow. Ow.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't have gone to the car wash. You've gone down and got a hammer and chisel.
Uh,
Take it all off then.
I was feeling really bad because I knew the guys that own the car washes in Moab had to be just like, oh no.
Right, because all that stuff drains off of you and then goes into their drains and then clogs up.
Everybody was at the
Right.
car wash with tons
Yeah.
of mud laying around. So
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's okay. You had what was that, like $20?
Yeah, actually, it
credit
was
card?
exactly.
Was it the Quaker
Exactly,
State one?
$20.
On the credit card? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it and you know it's funny. I mean, we ran into there. We've talked about this in the past. We were in Moab for Memorial Day weekend, which is a busy weekend for tourism, but we had really good luck on the trails. But I have to bring this up to our Jeep community. The ATVs and the side by sides continue to do and act the wrong way.
Mm.
We had seen a couple of groups that were very courteous and were abiding by, tread lightly rules and standards. Even on the first day, um, the majority of the vehicles that we saw both days were all side by sides. I mean, it was kind of crazy. But these guys, I don't know what we're gonna do. There's got to be either some education. Um, there are continuing to be arguments and fights on the trails. These guys think they own the trail. They get impatient when there's a group because they want to go fast and they want to tear stuff up. And then when they get impatient, what happens is they leave the trail, they go off, they create their own trail, have no idea, no respect for what they're doing. It's really unfortunate,
it
and
was sad.
I don't know how it's ever going to change.
Well, it'll change when they keep going down that path, and then finally one of those senators comes out and says, "Yeah, I think I'm in favor of a wilderness area," mean, the only reason there's not a wilderness area out there in Moab is because the senators of the state of Utah have said, no, we don't want it. But if it keeps going down that path, eventually somebody like Mitt Romney goes, yeah, I'm an environmentalist. Why not? And then start supporting it. Then we won't be able to do anything out there because it'll
That's
be
right.
off
Then
limits.
we'll all lose. It won't be just, hey, we're going to eliminate side-by-sides. It'll become wilderness, and we will not be able to use motorized recreation out there at all.
Well, mechanized at all, even that
Mechanized.
bicycles not be allowed. Nothing mechanized would be allowed except for only way is you and your 2 feet and a walking stick. Yep.
And
Yeah.
fencing,
Yeah.
because people still walk off the trail and disturb,
Even with fencing, people are climbing around the fences and
tearing them down. Yeah, all of it. It's pretty
Yeah.
sad. And I don't know what the solution is, because they get very argumentative and want to fight. And it's
Well, I mean,
very disheartening.
the reality is not a lot of people are bringing their own UTVs, right?
That's right.
A lot of people are renting.
Yep.
And there's 2 things that can happen. One, GPS exists, right? And you can put a GPS in every one of those UTVs mapped with all the existing trails that we know to exist, because those all exist. And there could be a penalty paid by the renter that if you go off of these trail points, this is it. There's a problem. 2, it's part of that agreement. Like, listen, there needs to be education. We all know that we do the best we can to educate Jeepers, but somebody needs to be educating those. Whether it's, we know Jeremy at Outlaw does a pretty good job of this, but educating those people that are coming, like, hey, this is great, you're gonna rent this, but before you go out, okay, you have to watch this, 10-minute video, this 15-minute video, or this is it. I mean, you got to understand, and you can't just simply tell somebody, no, don't do it. You have to explain to them why.
That's right.
So when we were in Florida and got a kayak out to go see the manatees, we had to sit in a room and watch a video on what we could and couldn't do.
In a kayak out
Right.
in the open water. Like,
And
it was great.
Yeah, and there's nothing new about that. That's standard. Like, you want to
Yes.
teach people, right? You want to train them. You want to keep them for their own safety and for the safety of others. When
Yeah.
Doug tells a story about when he rented a Jeep out there years ago, nobody told him what to do. He didn't know what he was supposed to do. He didn't know what 4-low was. He went fast for
Right.
everything. He went
Right.
normal speeds and he broke the Jeep. But it is part of the challenge we have and why we have skills days and other things that we have to communicate out to others. But one, we need to be teaching these people. Now, if they get that type of indoctrination at the time of rent, when somebody corrects them on the trail, they're less likely to be argumentative, because all it is reminding them of what they just learned,
Well,
20 minutes ago, an hour ago.
And even our friend Jeremy, who had a group out up on the Moab Rim on Sunday, 14 guys in side-by-sides approached him, and Jeremy told me that he thought, this is how it ends for me. And these guys were tearing things up and not doing the right thing. And Jeremy ended up getting in a verbal fight with these guys, and he was up there leading a group. And here's a guy who does this for a living, and these side-by-side guys are willing to, it's all about the numbers, right? We don't care who you are or what you say. We can do what we want, and what are you going to do? It's really unfortunate, and I'm hoping that our off-road community can kind of, if you guys know these guys with side-by-sides, and hopefully you guys are all in communication. And I know we had a couple of groups that were very courteous. They understood, they were doing the right thing, but I think that's rare. And the more we see people out using the trails, I think that's becoming more common, is the uneducated. So yeah, I mean,
it happens more now. The other flip side of that is you just have some BLM needs to have a big drone army, and then all a guy named Jeremy has to do is hit a little button, and a drone goes up there fully armed, comes down, lights on it, and just with the big lights right on it. Big, you imagine like this 4-foot big drone that aren't armed comes over and drones at you. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Like, move on.
Here's your ticket.
You're violating.
Here's your ticket.
Yeah, you've been ticketed.
RoboCop. I mean, even Jesse was like, she was going to take some pictures of these guys that were going off trail. A lot of the vehicles that don't run down through downtown don't have license plates on them. They're so similar, you can't tell one of these 4-seaters apart from another.
Right.
So, and they've all got the same flags anymore. They've all got the same buggy whips on them. They're all the same colors. So it's really hard to tell them apart. What are you going to do? Take a picture and say, hey, these guys were acting inappropriately. Who's going to police that?
There's a whole nother thing. Like if you want to be able to have a side-by-side in Moab, yes, you don't have to run around a license plate, but you have to register it. You have to register it and you get a flag, right? And here's your flag. Your flag is numbered. You turn the flag in when you're done. But this is, there's a registration process. All of the renters should have numbers on their rigs that are highly visible, whether it's a number on top of the rig or whatever. There's little things that can be done that I hate to say it, regulation, but it's do preventative regulation now, so you don't have reactive regulation later.
Yeah.
But it is. Well, outside of that, so you guys had fun, had a big group. So they enjoyed themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of fun even, and I'll throw out even some folks from our group who were actually doing the right things. It was so cool on the radio to hear, hey, hold up a second, I'm stopping and I'm picking up some trash. And we had these conversations before we left, after our driver's meeting in the morning, and people were stopping, and I said, these trails should be cleaner than when we arrived, and they were stopping and picking up trash. We had a couple of folks who, after our event, went south of town and wanted to explore some of the outer lying areas that were permit required. They went to the BLM and they got a permit in order to go visit those areas. I mean,
wow,
that kind of stuff means it's part of that responsible Jeeper, modern Jeeper attitude, and it was really cool. I think everybody had a great time. We saw a little bit of everything, kind of the highlight show of what Moab has to offer, and there's only 2 rigs out of our group that had ever even been to Moab before, so it was fun.
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome. Well, that's cool. I'm glad everybody had a great time. Missed y'all. And I know there were some things that I needed to get done for you last week and I didn't do it, and I apologize, but we were a little busy. We had to fly out to Tennessee.
It has been a whirlwind of a season, and we're all still dealing with the ability to get things when we think we can get them, and then we can't get them. And I mean, it's stupid stuff. It's small things that all of a sudden become, oh, well, that's back ordered or whatever.
Right.
So
like, oops, up. Yep. The small things. Yeah. What was back ordered last week was my head. My brain was back ordered. So next event is Tillamook, which is, it's only a month away, but it's just over a month away, but it's only a month away. Like, holy
right,
bejesus.
It's coming up fairly quick. And because 4th of July is in the middle of that, for the folks that haven't registered, there's 2 folks that I think that were from Moab that are looking at Tillamook pretty hard, and you should probably register sooner rather than later, because I think we're approaching some of those numbers. So if you guys have been contemplating Tillamook, it's such a cool area to go run around on the beach for a day, to go run up in the hills for a day. There's a couple of badge trails up there. It's a really cool event. So
it is. I was just thinking about, like, I just sat down with the calendar last night because my kids are on summer vacation now, and I just, I relegated them to camps all month. So, the next 2 weeks are in one camp, then they're in another camp, then they're in another camp, then they got a week off, then we go to Lincoln City for 2 weeks, and part of that is Tillamook. And that first weekend at Tillamook, while we're all at Tillamook, we're actually going to be also at Overland Expo Pacific Northwest, which means my truck will not be with me in Tillamook. My truck's going to be at Pacific Northwest Overland Expo. I don't know what I'm driving. I might have our JLU or our JKU, one of those 2. But I think I might be the JLU, just because it's better to flat tow that than to try to flat tow the Cloak 3. The Cloak 3 doesn't like that very much. But then from there, it's like, then there's 2 more camps. Like, I'm just shoving our kids in the camp all summer. That's their summer camp, and then all of a sudden it's back to school. So it's funny thinking of those terms, like summer lasts 2 months and it's done. Then we're back to work.
The kids, that's got to be, that's beneficial for them and you guys.
Right. Yes. Sanity. Sanity comes one camp at a time. Sanity comes one camp at a time. So, well, it's awesome. I mean, hey, I've just got this still sitting on my desk. These are the patches that Corey made. If you haven't seen these, the ModernJeeper
Awesome.
Adventure
Awesome.
patches, which I don't have anything to patch it to. Well, hey, almost stuck there.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Look at that.
It sticks to. I want to stick to that. Nah,
Nope.
all right. No, it's actually sticking to the M. There you go.
Oh, right, because the little threads in the M. That's funny.
It's got it. So, ModernJeeper Adventures, guys, we have 2 confirmed more events, which is Tillamook coming up, and then San Juan's is coming up. That's selling out too. The Rubicon event is slated. But as usual with the Rubicon event, we wait till the very last minute because there's a lot of variables that can get in the way from it happening. The Rubicon is obviously an incredibly popular trail. There's a lot of different groups involved. There's more politics related now to permitting and the whole process. So, and everything it takes to do it. We are committed to doing it this year, but as always, like last year was going to happen, then there was the fires. So we have so much we have to deal with when it goes that we haven't pulled the trigger and let you say, hey guys, go ahead and register. We want to make sure that at the very last minute, we do know many of you have contacted us and reached out to us about being out there. And we have you penciled down as the first ones we will contact. One at a time, please. I did have somebody reach out to us and said, hey, I've got a group of 6. I'm like, yeah, no, it's one person reaches out and registers for one vehicle. And then do that. So, but it is on part of the goal.
And we will be, I'll be working on the front end of the website here the next week as well. We'll get the Death Valley trip that'll happen in November. We'll also be going live. We'll confirm those dates, make sure that's up there as well. So people should be able to start planning and not, I had some feedback from some of the folks from Moab. A lot of people have to plan their schedules in like January and February and for the year. And that's really hard for folks like all of us to remember and go, wait, what? A year? I haven't. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. So we'll get those dates up as well. And, and maybe the Rubicon trip, who knows? Who knows what that'll look like? If we can pull it off, pull it together, and there's enough people, we'll do 2 trips. But we haven't even confirmed the dates yet. So once we do that, we'll be sure to let everybody know, and we'll figure it out. I know that there's a lot of demand to get out there, and this year, like we saw in Moab, there's a lot of people that want to go and get out. Fuel prices don't seem to be affecting folks as much as we would have thought.
No, only in California where it's $7 a gallon. Then it affects
Yeah.
Yuck.
More than minimum wage. This is the article I saw today.
Really? Well, out here, minimum wage is $15.
Minimum wage.
Out there, minimum wage out here is $15. So,
they were saying it was $7.25, which I knew, but that's still half of your wage almost.
Exactly. It's crazy. You work an hour to pay for a half a gallon or 2 gallons of gas or something, right?
Yeah.
There has been some really funny stuff on social media, like the whole, what does a woman really want? And she's standing there waiting, and this guy shows up with this little box like it's going to be a ring, and then that disappears, and then he hands her a gas can.
Right.
That's what she really wants.
Listen, guys, we're not yet at the point, but if anybody are old enough to remember the late 70s, and the gas crisis of the 70s, when there were lines and lines, and you would wait in line to just try to get some fuel and it was ridiculous prices and it was huge scarcity, right? And what's happening now is the same thing, and it's happening in reverse because we have the resources. The biggest oil field in the world is up in Alaska, and it's also the biggest in North America. And half of it was cut off, like literally about a month or so ago. Half of it was sold by the Department of the Interior that nope, you can't drill there anymore. Sorry, half of that. So that's not expanding resources, that's reducing resources. And the additional rules that have been put in place keep reducing supply. By the Biden administration keeps reducing supply and reducing supply. They're not increasing supply, right? They want us to continue to buy from other countries. They want us to have to buy baby formula from Switzerland, right? It's a crazy thing to think of that we are starting to be like a third world country, not only in the way that some of our cities are right now. Yeah, I recently saw statistics. I'm going to drop up on a totally different tangent here. Recently saw a statistic about gun violence in America, and if you were to remove the major cities, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, some of the major cities that have gun violence, Washington D.C., we would go from being one of the top countries in the world for gun violence to one of the bottom countries in the world for gun violence. It's our major cities that are contributing to that. That's the sad part about it, right? And of course, a moment of thought and prayer for the families and the lives that have been lost recently with this insane gun violence created by insane individuals,
Yes.
not by a society, not by a committee, not by a party, but by insane individuals who went out and did these evil, evil acts. And may they burn and roast in hell for as long as possible. But we're sitting in a society where it seems to be like it's acceptable for some gang member to walk up and shoot some other gang member in Chicago, right? And to me, that's unacceptable, right? It's unacceptable for us to have the high prices. It's unacceptable for us to have additional crime. It's unacceptable for us to have homeless all over the place. It's unacceptable for us to have gang violence on gang violence. It's unacceptable for us to have thousands and hundreds of thousands of people crossing over our border with no accountability, letting the people that have been trying to do it legally to suffer. It's unacceptable for all of these things to happen in our country. And yet somehow, like I said earlier, there are UFOs confirmed, and yet nobody cares because everything else is going on and just making our life kind of crazy. All right, I'm off my soapbox.
No, I think that hits home for so many people, and our current direction. Who knows where our next? How did we get here? And I think we were. I don't know.
Well, it's an election year, so get out there and vote. I don't care how you vote. I just want you to vote. Participate in the system, right? Go out and participate in the system. Maybe you'll make the changes that need to be made by voting the right people in to make those changes, both at the local level, look at your school boards, and at the national level, right? And congressmen, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of changes going to happen this year. Only if the people you elect in make the change.
Right.
Listen, I'm a Republican. Everybody knows I'm a Republican. And I was so disappointed with some of those congressional groups and stuff that were out there that we elected in. Like, you're in power. Do what you said you can do. Oh, wait. Oh, you don't know how to do anything? Oh, you suck.
Yeah. And that's the bad part, right? I mean, everybody, the bad part about it is we all believe what we're told, and that tends to never go quite that way.
Right. I know what I was told, and it turned out to be true.
I mean, it's simple, right? I mean, I think about even the I don't know, following instructions in any form of how to vote, how to install a lift, how to put on a bumper, how to I mean, we expect and we think that people will understand written instructions, and sometimes instructions are written poorly. I'm not saying that at all, but we tend to not communicate enough, I think, sometimes, in order to really convey the message. I mean, we just got done with our big giveaway a week and a half ago. And
Yes.
did it go the way we want? I don't know if it did. We had a really good turnout. We gave away a lot of cool stuff. But again, it's like, oh, you know what this causes us to do is to kind of go back and go, hey, we need to make sure that it's very, very clear, because we had some folks reach out to us and go, I don't know if I'm entered. I don't know if I'm not. When was I supposed to respond? That kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, the interesting one was sorry, I'll cough here. I got a message from somebody. It literally was, and this is the ungrateful part that I kind of like sometimes flabbergast you, but that's people have opinion. Like, oh, some company. Literally, the message was some company. Like, I didn't find out until this evening that you did your giveaway that was 24 hours live. Like, you didn't even promote it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, So all I do know was that we sent out multiple emails to all entrants about the giveaway. We promoted it on multiple company websites, including some of our partners' sites. We promoted it on multiple Facebook pages. I mean, I'm not sure what else we're supposed to do. But when it comes down to it, none of that matters. What matters is that we had a winner.
That's right. That's right.
And
Yeah, I'm my focus for the remainder of the year, so that our followers know. I'm going to be over communicating, I guess, so that we are all are understanding. And you know what's funny is, because we do get so many spam calls on our phone and all of the emails, and it's very difficult. It's becoming harder to communicate with people because, number one, a lot of these are our email filters and our spam filters and our call blocking technologies. It's very, very hard to communicate with folks, and I don't know how that's going to change or evolve. How do you get the messages that you want and not get the ones you don't? I don't know.
The simple answer is that we're supposed to just take all messages, period. That we're not supposed to discriminate. That's
Right.
actually hate. Discrimination is hate. I'm sorry if you're discriminating against my call because you don't recognize me. You're discriminating against me. I mean, I could be a minority caller.
That's right.
There is
You
such a
could
thing
sue.
as I could. I mean, I could be a minority company trying to with a minority caller. By minority, I mean a small company, not the color of your phone, but the actual fact you are a small company. And if I don't answer you because I don't recognize you, I'm discriminating against you, and that's not fair. Let's be fair. That's not fair. I think they should actually remove the ability to block calls. I think they should remove the ability to silence calls, and you should have to answer all calls. And if you don't answer all calls, maybe there'll be a premium charged to you by the phone company because they took the effort to process that call and get it to you, and you chose not to follow through. Therefore, it was a waste of time and energy on their part, and you should be charged for that.
I mean, you're paying for service. Why would you not want to take in all of that awesome information?
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a guy from Nigeria or a guy down the street trying to sell you a lawnmower that you ordered 3 weeks ago, and you need to verify your credit card information with him directly in order to make sure that it gets delivered. And if it does need to be canceled, he also needs the credit card information to verify that he can cancel it properly. Those are all important calls. And again, the AT&T and Verizon took the effort to build a system to let you have that call. And if you don't choose that call, it's a detriment to their system, and they should be able to charge you for that.
I mean,
it's just like
Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, all of these mail systems, same deal. I mean, they're doing everything they can to get you that information from that person who's sending out the email.
And it really is a shame that we are choosing not to share our personal information with them. I mean, it really is a shame. And quite frankly, Apple needs to be taken to court because the fact that Apple has decided that all your personal information should not be shared with advertisers. I mean, you got to be kidding me. This is like First Amendment stuff right here. They should be allowed. It's free speech. They should be able to share all the personal information you have with others. That's free speech, right?
Right.
I mean, it's insane. I don't know. I think it's really is discriminatory of what we're doing as people. I mean, especially as part of that vast white ring MAGA conspiracy. The ultra MAGAs, apparently. MAGAs.
Ultra MAGA.
We're ultra MAGAs. We're freedom lovers. That's something wrong with that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what Elon's thinking. Jesus. You know what? Life would be a lot more fun as a Democrat because I could be a lot more. It's so easy to be a shithole. It's so easy.
Now that went way over there.
All right. So you got a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, things are going crazy. We just had a CTI day last Friday. We had a big sale, Memorial Weekend sale, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And everybody got a chance to do that. Although I will say it's kind of interesting. And I received an email yesterday that felt good to me because I got attacked a little bit on Facebook and in some other emails for running a sale on Memorial Day. Now, it's been pretty common. I mean, retailers have been doing Memorial weekend sales forever, right?
Right.
Now, our friends over at Factor 55 sent out an email saying they were not running a sale for Memorial, that they didn't believe in doing that. I was like, that's fine. You know, we've been doing it traditionally for a long time, and I think our customers expect it. So we did a full weekend sale. And then when it came to actual Memorial Day itself, you know, I said, hey, it's the last chance, blah, blah, blah. And we had done a really nice video that was reminding people about the purpose of Memorial Day. And I've always taken it as a personal mission that I have this pulpit, I have this email list, I have this pulpit to customers. And I've tried to make that as an opportunity to share a little bit of my insight about different holidays, right? Like I make sure to do a Columbus Day sale. There's a lot of back and forth about Columbus. I have personal beliefs about it, data that I've read. I don't think he's as bad as everybody says he was. Or as the mainstream says he is, right? I always make sure to do a Washington birthday, or at least try to celebrate Washington's birthday, because I don't like the idea they separated it all up, made it just President's Day, right?
Right.
Let's celebrate individuals. Same with Memorial Day. I make it a fact or a point to make sure we separate Memorial Day from Veterans Day, because many times you see people out there celebrating Memorial Day as if it's Veterans Day. Salute a veteran. Well, that's not what it is. It's about remembering the dead. Let's be frankful. It's about remembering the dead. And I also want to make sure that they understand the value of what they've done, right? So I'll do a little point of it. Anyway, so I put out a message on that. I got a response from a staff sergeant who was deeply touched by how I was promoting it, how I was combining our video about Memorial Day with the sale and making sure to communicate that message. And in that email, he put a list of something like the 6, 7, 8 guys that had served under him and lost their lives. Like he remembers all of these guys to this day from when he served. And he was a staff sergeant Marine Corps. And he remembered each of these guys that had served under him. And this is, 20, 30 years ago, whatever. And they're still as real to him today as they were, because they lost their lives. And he was very appreciative of what he did. And it felt good to me, because you do hear a lot of the vocal people like, well, this isn't what Memorial Day is for. I'm out putting flags on gravestones. That's what it's for. Like, that's awesome. God bless you for doing that. Right. People celebrate Memorial Day in different ways. Some people celebrate it by relaxing. Some people celebrate by adventures. Some people celebrate it by doing that and honoring funerals or going to events. And some do it by a sale or two. And we just shared it out there. But I just felt good because the staff sergeant really reinforced that it was okay that we were doing what we were doing. Because quite frankly, I was questioning it. Like, should I not do a sale on Memorial Day? Should I do it just the days before, not do it that day of? I mean, what is the real path? Because some people can be so negative. Then I started asking myself the question, like, okay, of the people that actually are out there being negative about it, and it's hard to tell, but which of those people served? Which of those people actually are Gold Star families, or served or sacrificed? Or are they just being, are they just aggrandizing? Are they just standing up and being virtue signaling? Maybe that's the current word, virtue signaling about it, because making me feel bad for wanting to do a sale for my customers. I don't know.
It's and for the folks that have always wondered about why we do our Moab Adventure during Memorial Day, again, we do appreciate the folks that do have an extra day off. They take that opportunity to do something with their family or friends or whatever. But that's also the reason why we don't run trails on Monday. We give that day to folks to celebrate or remember Memorial Day, however they wish to. We run it on Saturday and Sunday, and then we give Sunday to them to be with their families or what have you. So yeah, I don't know. I think everybody has their own perspective and how they choose to deal with certain holidays. For some, a holiday is a holiday, and all they know is they're not going to work, and so it's a party. I mean, it's really that's their prerogative, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that it's important for companies to understand what the meaning is behind these holidays, and Metal Cloak always has, as does Modern Jeeper and ARS and even Factor 55. The fact they chose not to run a sale, there's still recognize that it's an important day. I don't know that the sale thing gives Memorial Day lesser impact, if you will.
Right. It's a holiday. People do sales on holidays all the time. We've struggled with it with like Thanksgiving. Like, I don't want people out there shopping on Thanksgiving. Happens to be
Right.
one of the busiest days. It's almost as busy as Black Friday.
That's right.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
what else are you going to do if you've eaten all the turkey and you're sitting, sitting around the couch doing nothing except looking at your laptop and your phone and trying to buy stuff? I mean,
Yeah,
let's
right.
face it.
Football.
Yeah, football.
Right?
I mean,
Right, because everybody likes football. Um, yeah, it's like it's the one thing I can't stand is watching football on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's not my thing. I playing catch with a family, no big deal. Sitting down and watching football, not my thing. Then again, none of the teams that play are ever been my team. So
Nope.
yeah.
Just a reminder to all of our guys out there, our winner of our 20,000 Ultimate Rocklander giveaway was Jeremy Wilhelm, which we are working out details for him, and I believe we're going to try to get him on the podcast here in a few weeks. Once some other detail, all the stuff's been worked out, so that he's he's in touch with everybody and gotten all the products, gotten that process going, so he can figure out his build, and then we'll do a nice little interview with him and get him on, just see how excited it really is, because I think right now he's still recovering from a heart attack. So
I agree too, and
Yeah.
I think that I think a few folks were just like, "Wait a minute, what? Was that
Yeah.
me?" Like,
Right.
yeah,
And for all you know, we did put out the rule, and if any of you didn't hear this and you had won and you thought, because we gave a little segment, there's a couple items that we haven't heard from the winners on, but if you did hear that, like we did say 24 hours from the live show, but because we had audio issues and we had a couple other things, we extended that to be basically this last week, which basically meant within 24 hours of the podcast going live. But we're it's not a big deal for us if you're on that list of people that won, or you think you're on the list, or maybe you thought you heard your name. Just reach out to me, Matson@metalclark.com, and I'm happy to talk to you. Otherwise, Jeremy Wilhelm gets the $20,000 big giveaway, and talk about a guy who is thrilled. I mean, thrilled
for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I hope to. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, but for our followers and our listeners that were watching the live giveaway, of course, that was my phone that was feeding to all of our Facebook channels, and then we had 3 additional phones feeding Instagram live. So I know that the audio was probably better on the Instagram feeds, and the issues that we had, again, we're Jeepers. I mean, I kind of want to be a tech guy, but at the end of the day, I've got really good equipment, and sometimes I just don't know how to use it to its full potential.
Okay.
So,
let's be clear. He's colorblind 1. He needs glasses too. I mean, I need glasses. We all need glasses. I get my wife handing me things saying, "Here, read this." And I'm like, "Yeah, no." My partner Aaron hands me stuff printed out from our system. From our system, and goes, "Here," and it's like hands this piece of paper. I'm like, "Why do you walk into my office with a piece of paper that I can only read with my glasses on?" And it's like,
I mean, I've got like, I don't know, 7 pairs of these damn readers
still
running
Right,
around
right.
now, and still can't find them.
right, of course,
but
that's the history
but
of readers. Didn't you get a pair of those ones that go around your neck though?
What's that?
Didn't you get a pair of those? One of those ones
Yes.
that snap around your neck like the real old guys wear?
Yeah, the real that they like click together. There's a magnet that holds the nose piece. But yeah, so we do know where our failures were, and of course, it was after the fact. We all got back to the place we were staying in Flagstaff, and I went through, I don't know, a half dozen cords and microphones, and was trying to figure out what the issues were. Guys, when you're dealing with a lightning cord plug into an iPhone and you're running external mics, there has to be a certain number of rings on that little 3.5 millimeter plug in order to receive and hear. It's a two-way plug, and a lot of I have a lot of headphone jacks. Well, that's just for listening. That's one way. There's only two little black rings on that 3.5 millimeter plug. So lightning to that two ring is great for a set of headphones. And that's exactly what we had on the external microphone we were using, rather than the three rings that needed to be used on for that external mic. So apologize. I'm
all the muffling sound you heard in the was actually the fuzzy part of the boom mic, the little wind protector, hitting the phone itself.
Yeah, it was hitting the phone. We were getting no sound actually through the microphone that was connected at all.
Nothing.
But it was
We're
pretty
better
amazing.
off without the darn thing. But yeah,
right.
that was good.
We got back to the house and we were doing a bunch of testing inside, and it was like, oh yeah. Well,
I wish I had pictures of that, guys, because Mike was on the behind him on the microphone, talking really softly into the microphone, but behind his back, like literally like they were spooning in order to do this little test, standing up. It was kind of funny. So I get a text I just get a text just now from my wife, like, okay, what is it? What does she need? But no, she decides to send me. I don't know if we can see it here. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah,
pool time.
The kids in pool time. Like, this is what they're doing right now as daddy's here at work, is they're playing in Nana and Papa's pool.
That looks like way more fun.
It does look like way more fun. Now, this being said, we went to the pool on Friday, on Saturday. We didn't do Sunday. We didn't do Monday. Now they're doing Tuesday. Yeah, that's like four pool days in the last 5 days. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. They get to go out and play in the pool like that. Yeah. So I'm jealous. I'm jealous of my kids. Is it okay to be jealous of your kids?
It was who had the pool during the summer.
Right.
Like they were the popular kids. So
right.
Every day.
Yeah, I know. If we had a pool in our backyard, it'd been a lot easier. But it's like 3 minutes away at Nana and Peepop's house. That's their grandparents' house, and that's okay. Except it's at like an old person's village or whatever, so not allowed to be loud. That's so it's whatever. Problems. Well, all right. Hey, so anything else to talk about? I mean, we could probably go on for hours because we can, but you guys have a lot to do. I
got to give a shout out to Jeremy down at Outlaw. We bailed early in order to get back here yesterday, and he took a couple of our group out to Hell's Revenge yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And a shout out to one of our favorite people in Moab, Danny Grimes.
Mm-hmm.
A shout out to Moab Ice for supplying the ice for our event. And this girl right here, we wouldn't have had food, we wouldn't have had tables and chairs if it wasn't for her efforts. So just pretty cool. It was a great event. We're getting better. I will say that. I think that it's true. I think that the events are definitely getting more comfortable for us as this was our fifth Moab Adventure, I believe. So yeah, and again, we have some return people that show up, and it's really fun to spend time with people and show them new things and new places. I love it. I love it. I love the people. And you guys, if you're hesitant, you need to sign up for Tillamook. Either Tillamook, the San Juans. We're going to have Death Valley coming up. There will be a Rubicon trip, so please watch the website and pay attention to that.
And of all he's mentioned Danny Grimes, otherwise known as Grandpa. That is Modern Jeeper Show episode 13. I believe it was that long ago. Episode 13.
Wow.
Episode 13. Wow. We did an interview with Danny Grimes in his garage. And if you go to ModernJeeperShow.com, and you can see find the actual episode there, you can see actual pictures of his shop. Pretty incredible. But episode 13, if you want to hear about this guy, Danny Grimes, Grandpa, and you haven't heard about him before, pretty amazing dude. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, shout out to all of those. Thanks so much. Good job, Jesse and Corey, for doing all the great work. And yes, Jeremy for keeping things going. And for me, just keeping the chair warm here at MC World
Got to
headquarters.
keep
You know?
the wheels a turning in the back so
That's
that we
right.
can keep
That's
doing
right.
what we do.
Okay, yeah. So I'm the little hamster in the wheel. Okay, I get it. With all that said, my friends, and all your Modern Jeepers out there, you know how to reach out to us. Matson at MotorCloak.com, Corey at MotorCloak.com, Jesse at MotorCloak.com. Reach us at ModernJeeperAdventures.com, or ModernJeeper.com. And of course, we still have the Modern Jeeper Forum, a great place for you to go and share and talk and read and have questions in a non-judgment zone. Well, my friends, thank you again, Modern Jeepers. We'll see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.